Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Every Black Family Expert. Tonight we have Joy Abdullah, and she will be talking about eating to live for the original man and woman. Welcome, Joy.
Thank you so much, Brother Jimmy. How are you tonight?
I'm
Thank you
doing
so
well.
much.
Thank you for joining us and being our guest speaker tonight.
Yes, sir. Very humbled for the invite. Very, very humbled. Um, I guess I'll just get started, huh?
Just go ahead and go start it, right?
Yes, sir. Thank you again for the invite and giving me the opportunity to share some of my what I guess expertise. I'm
Absolutely.
pretty humbled by it, but you know how that works. First, I want to start with saying, in the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful.
Absolutely.
All praise is due to Allah, the Lord of all that exists. And want to say hello to all my brothers and sisters out there. Assalamu alaikum, shalom, peace, hotep, namaste, paz, all those good things. Just a little about myself. I am new to, I guess you can say, healthy living, if that's what you want to call it. My family and I just will have our 2 year anniversary tomorrow, or not tomorrow, next month, on purchasing a farm in North Carolina, originally from Southern California. So do not know anything about farming, but YouTube is a beautiful thing. So we have 10 goats right now. We had about 30 last summer, so we've been selling some goats, but different turkeys, guineas, many different breeds of chicken, dogs, cats, you name it. So we're basically trying to start a what's called agro-tourism for our urban children in the Triad area of North Carolina, as well as we're really close on the border of Virginia. So we would like to have a lot of youth come experience agriculture. We have a garden. We have a little over 9 acres. So we're trying to currently expand the agricultural aspect of it. We have apple trees, a baby pear tree, grapes that are, and wild blackberries. So I'm getting into canning now. I'm trying to preserve some of this stuff. So that's a little bit about me. We're basically going back to our indigenous selves, being part of the earth, taking care of earth, which is a huge part of healthy living. It is basically the first thing of healthy living is peace of mind. And when you're in the country and in earth and there's no city and no fast pace, you have no other choice but to have a part of peace of mind. So that would be the first thing that not everyone can go and buy a farm. I know that, but just start with peace of mind, and that's I would say a drama-free life. So,
Right.
which a lot of us have to. It's hard to weed out. Drama-free comes with stress. Taking out stress, unhappiness, which all is relative to the body. If you're unhappy or if you have a lot of stress from work or family or what have you, a lot of influences that does affect the physical person inside and out. So for a lot of like black women, when we're stressed, it shows in our complexion and our hair. So that is basically the first aspect is gaining peace of mind, learning what to internalize and what we consume, whether it's visual consumption, hearing consumption. So we're talking about TV now, radio, the different things that we see and interact with every day. We can weed those things out, and that gives you a lot of peace of mind and gives you better health. So not a lot of the foolishness that the enemy loves to give us on TV, that affects the energy of the body, especially with people of color. So try not to let so much of that come into your energy spheres, I like to call it. That has a lot to do with peace of mind. So thought consumption, purity of thoughts has a lot to do with healthy living. I think of, when I was thinking of what to say, I thought of Matthew 4:8 in the Bible, when the devil takes Jesus on the mount, high up, it says.
Okay.
And when Jesus is speaking to them, the devil, has a lot of ego, and he's telling him, I can give you all these things. And he shows him the whole valley, and I'll be able to give you all this if you just submit to me. Well, that was, and Jesus saying, and I'm paraphrasing, Jesus saying, get back, Satan, back up off me. That is Jesus. He wasn't speaking to a red man with a pitchfork. That's ego, right? That is as they show in cartoons, the little red man on this side, a little devil, and a little angel.
Right.
That's the God consciousness in us saying, don't do that, do this. And so that's ego, him speaking to his ego, and him having to say, get back. So we have to do that a lot of times in our thoughts. Have to listen more to that God consciousness and tell Satan, back up off me. So when you're thinking negative things, whether it's about people, your situation, that manifests. Thoughts create manifestation. And so try to purify our thoughts. I had to get into that, because that leads a lot to negative energy within the body. That's cancerous when we focus on negative. So wanted to touch on that.
Before you go any further, I'm just curious, what brought you to that point where you began to realize and see things that way? What led you up to make a move from California to North Carolina? That's a big step.
That's a big step.
Lifestyle. And so what brought you and your husband to that point?
We met in North Carolina. He's actually from Queens, New York. So we met in North Carolina. I was escaping Southern California. I think I left as soon as I graduated high school. I was escaping gang violence, basically. So I wanted peace of mind at an early age. I realized, this wasn't beneficial. And I knew I wanted to raise, have a family. And so I guess I was blessed with that type of foresight, at 18 years old, because I had to go. Both me and my brother left immediately after graduating high school. So basically coming to the thought process, that took 30-something years, to realize, hey, if I think this way, it seems to, reflect in my life. So people always say, you're always smiling. You have to come to a certain point where positivity has to reflect in everything that you do. When you talk to people and they always have a negative thing to say, it's a weight. So I guess that came with experience of actually seeing my thoughts manifest. In our teachings, we're told we're gods. Jesus says, ye are all gods. So what the definition of a God is one who manifests their own reality. And so if you're thinking thought negative all the time and having negative influences around you, whether it be your mother, your children, you got to escape it some kind of way. So we were blessed enough to escape all that and being
I don't want to throw you off with your
your no, that's fine.
I just thought that's a big change. I just wonder how you got there.
that was it. Escaping drive-bys. So that's a definitely game changer. A lot of us can't escape it. So my family my mom and dad were born back east, so this was what I knew. California was where they took us to. So. But, that was it. So, as far as internal consumption of healthy living, alcohol, because we're dealing with Black folks, right?
Okay, right.
We like alcohol. I know a few years ago, I loved my Parmesan and my Pepsi. So I'm not going to say anything that I didn't do or don't do right now. So, alcohol drugs is detrimental to our bodies. No matter what the the masses tell us who control media, because they love pushing alcohol. So we have all the rappers and the famous people doing commercials with this and that tears on the body. So we're the leaders of degenerative heart, Black people. We're the leaders of kidney failure. These type of things come from alcohol consumption. So drugs, whether it's marijuana, which is a catch-22 with that. The tobacco, the way we've been taught to use it is not right. But there are beautiful, beautiful things that have to do with the marijuana weed and how we can use that, whether it's cancer or what have you. But the way we've been taught with tobacco is not beneficial for our health. So drugs, alcohol, the number one cause. A lot of our family won't want to hear it, but the number one cause for our hypertension, our rheumatism, our arthritis, diabetes, blah, 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 all the things that Black people lead in, because we lead in all the cancers, I believe, except melanoma, which is skin cancer. But the number one cause of that is pork. So we love pork. I loved it too. I get a double ham. A few years ago, I would go to Hardee's to get my double ham biscuit, and I was 40 pounds heavier because I was getting a double ham biscuit every day and coming home drinking Parmesan and smoking Black and Milds. And so my husband's not a very tall man, but he was as wide as he's tall because we were eating so much pork and consuming so much alcohol. So the number one cause is pork. I found that there are around 21 verses in the Bible that have to do with swine in the Old and the New Testament. Whether and none of them are good. So I just wanted to give a couple of them, which was Leviticus 11:7, chapter 11, 7 through 8. Isaiah 66, 17, Luke 8:33. There are 5 mentions in the Quran on swine in the Holy Quran. That is in chapter 2, verse 173, chapter 5, which is called the table spread, verse 5 and 3, and then the B, chapter 16, verse 115. So these are our holy books, right? Right. The Old Testament, the New Testament, and the Quran. So you have Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, what they call the 3 major religions. So if these are the books that, the messages that were sent, it's the reason that swine is so prohibited. So that is a huge part of our diet. And I know my family, I can't even eat at a family reunion now because there's so much pork. I can't eat nothing. Like literally, it's crazy. But I understand that, but we have to come out of it. It's like, they say, well, the proof is in the pudding. Right. Well, if you look at how sick we are, you see it's not right. And I wanted to, because I know our people love to hear we don't believe anything till the white man say it, right? So I went on the PETA website. I found 10 reasons not to eat pig. And the number one was porking you up. It's a fact that ham, sausage, and bacon strips will go right to your hips. Eating pork products, which are loaded with artery-clogging cholesterol, saturated fat, is a good way to increase your waistline, increase your chances of developing deadly diseases such as heart disease, diabetes, arthritis, osteoporosis, Alzheimer's, asthma, and impotence. So the other 9, or like the pig is, he's treated badly. So I won't even get into those. They treat him bad on the bus to the slaughterhouse. So nobody. But I thought it was interesting that the number one is health. The number one reason that PETA gives is health reasons, and then it names all the things that Black people leading. So I thought that was pretty interesting, and I hope that we look at that and decide to kind of make a change. And it's not hard not to eat it. I promise it's not. We can do it if we want to. Um, Also, I wanted to read a little bit from the book How to Eat to Live by Honorable Elijah Muhammad, which is an excellent book on diet. And that's why I titled this program that, or this I don't lecture or what have you, How to Eat to Live. He goes on to talk about the Arabic meaning of hog or swine, according to an Arab Muslim, is khanzir, which is khan. He says means icy. Zier means foul. This is the meaning of the English word swine. Khanzir, or icy, the animal foul. And very foul is the best explanation I have heard to cover the very nature and characteristics of this animal. Snakes can't poison hogs. They eat them and doesn't harm them because they eat the biter. He is so poisonous and filthy that nature had to prepare him a sewer line, and you may find the opening on his forelegs. I'm gonna repeat that.
Oh, wow.
He's so poisonous and filthy that nature had to prepare him a sewer line you may find on the opening of his forelegs. It's a little hole out of which oozes pus comes out. This is a filth in the body that cannot be passed fast enough. So the pig has literally holes in the back of his feet that ooze pus. That in itself should make you not want to eat bacon. I mean, and pig's feet, which my mother barbecues, she still like pig feet. So I had to read that because that's phenomenal to me. I didn't know these things until I read this book. It also has a parasitic worm called a trichina or trichina, which is found in the stomach and intestinal walls. It finally breathes and works itself into the muscles of the body of the eater. From there, the worm works himself into the spinal cord and travels the spinal cord toward the brain, at which time there's no possible cure. And you can Google these things. People have gone to the hospital with headaches, and the doctors do an x-ray, and they find these huge worms inside of their brain and their spine. And this is what the enemy pushes on us constantly. The other white meat. And for them, sure. For us, it's devastating. It's killing us daily, like minute by minute. So I had to touch on that because it's such a big part of our diet as Black people. With that, it's so serious because we're taught that our bodies are temples, right? When the disciples asked Jesus where heaven was, he didn't point on a map. He didn't say go to the right. He didn't say go up there. He said within you. So our bodies are our temple. Whether it's a mosque, synagogue, whatever you want to call it, that is our temple. So if you can imagine going into your church on Sunday and pigs are walking around, you would be, that you wouldn't want to pray there, right? You're like, this place dirty. Same thing for fast food and all the junk food we eat. You wouldn't want to walk in your church and see Cheetos everywhere and, McDonald's. And so we have to watch what we put into our bodies. The Bible calls the body a vessel. It says human beings are the vessels. So a vessel is something that's filled with something else, which is supposed to be the Spirit of God himself. And so God cannot enter into a vessel if it's tainted and dirty.
I have to tell you this. Now, I was never overweight, but I was about 15 pounds heavier.
Okay.
A few years ago, and my doctor said my blood pressure was borderline. They said I didn't have high blood pressure, but they said I had to watch it. And I had to watch my diet, eat more fruits and vegetables. And so I started doing that. I cut out all fast food. I wasn't on a diet, but I ended up losing about almost 15 pounds. and
Wow.
it's
Not
like,
exercising, right?
yeah, well, I exercised too, but it wasn't. I don't think that was the difference. I think the difference was what I ate.
What you ate.
Made the difference. So I cut out all fast food. Now I have to admit, though, I still eat pork sometimes.
It's good.
But I have cut way back on meats in general.
Yeah.
I have no processed food, no fast food. Fresh vegetables or frozen. I don't do canned veggies anymore. So I just had to throw that in. But I just, I can understand exactly what you're saying.
That's me. Like my husband and I, we never exercised. We had bought when we were living that way. We had bought the Insanities and the P90X, and we couldn't lose the weight. But as soon as we stopped eating fast food and stopped drinking, the weight just started falling off, and people were going, "What are y'all doing?"
And the blood pressure went down too. So.
Yeah, it is what you consume, and I wish a lot of our sisters who struggle with weight loss, brothers too, if they would just figure that out. It's you don't have to go kill yourself in the gym. If you just cut out a lot of the junk food, I still eat. I'm big on Doritos, spicy nacho Doritos, and Swiss cake rolls. So I still. It's not gonna. I'm not gonna drop dead. I hope, but I stopped eating meat January. So basic fruits, vegetables, beans, stuff like that. But I still have to indulge. I eat ice cream and all that good stuff. I like snacks, Skittles, all these. I'm still we're striving every day, right? So this is just a intro into just to drop a seed.
Right.
Don't go crazy, because I'm still every day trying not to eat zingers all day. So it's like I stopped eating meat. Now I'm baking cakes now. So I've replaced one thing with sugar. So I'm working on that.
Right.
So I've become very good with flour. So and speaking of that led to what else I want to talk about, which was exercise, quote unquote. We don't do that around here. I'm just going to tell you now. We're active. We're on a farm, so we're active all day. So it's no need to, we don't have to exercise because we're constantly chasing goats or something's going on. I love Brother Dick Gregory talks about walking. The first exercise given to man, right? Yeah. That is the best thing we can do. It's motion, in order to create a positive time, you have to have a motion. So all you have to do is walk. That's it. Just get out and walk. And my number one tip is walk barefoot as much as you can. Take your shoes, your socks off, and put your feet on the planet Earth and walk in grass. And if you can, I like to make mud. I let my daughter make mud, and I walk in mud. And we are part of this earth, literally. Our chemical components are the same as the earth, literally. Earth's 70% water. We're 70% water. We are literally the chemical components biologically match everything that is in the earth that's in man, in the original man. So we are a part of this earth. So walking barefoot and getting your feet on that earth, it's a connection that we have to have. And walk, and just try to walk a little bit a day. And if you can walk barefoot, please do it every day. It's my husband. He's getting better at it because he loves his sneakers, and I'm like, just enjoy the grass. So that's all I have to say on exercise, because I've never been an exerciser, but I've always been an active person. So if we just stay active and stay busy and get out in front of that TV and, all those things, and just go outside and become one with nature, listen to the birds, sit in the grass, you're going to itch a little bit like when we were children. Itch. It's all right. Take a bath. You'll be fine. You know, we don't want to itch and be one anymore. When we were little, we rolled down grass, right? We rolled it all in the grass. We were so innocent and pure. So we have to get back to that. That's all I have to say on exercise. I had herbs to include, spices to include in our diet, which in studying herbs and studying how our African brothers, Mexican brothers, South American, our Indian brothers, studying their diets and their food, I realized they eat the same exact thing. They use the same exact spices, but they call it different things from their different languages and dialects.
Okay.
But literally, and we as Black people, you know, kidnapped and brought to this country, they took that away from us. So we don't have that connection anymore. But I noticed I cook a lot of different foods from different backgrounds in the house. So I cook a lot of West Indian food, African food. So noticing that and studying, I'm going, wait, this is all the same exact spices.
Okay.
The same herbs. So I just wanted to go over some of them to include in our kitchens from this day forth if we could. And one was red wine vinegar, which is a detoxifier. You just take a spoonful every day. That is a natural appetite suppressant for our brothers and sisters struggling with wanting to eat a lot and munch a lot. It lowers blood pressure. So a spoonful of that a day will really help. It. My grandma said, my grandma's 94 years old. She said she's been taking that. Healthy as an ox, smart as a whip. Cloves is another one. Garlic, ginger. If you can get fresh ginger from the store, you peel it, and when you smell it, it smells like it's what I imagine the sun to smell like. You can smell the sun. Ginger is a beautiful fragrance. You chop that up. I dice it in the food processor and keep it in a jar. Just throw it in a little bit every day. Turmeric powder, which if you take that daily, you can put it in teas or just in water. That helps with chronic pain. And so if you imagine taking it every day and you have chronic pain, it'll eventually start to ease it. If you don't have chronic pain, then you won't have, it'll alleviate what you won't have. Cumin is another spice. That is a cancer preventative. I use cumin and turmeric in everything I cook. Rice, everything I cook, I put a little bit of it in there. It prevents cancer. So that's all I need to hear, and I'm going to use it. Nutmeg is another one. Cinnamon, eat that a lot. If nutmeg and cinnamon is something that most of our people on other continents put in all their food. Those two things combined makes the best chicken. It's wonderful. Beef, it gives it some type of flavor. So nutmeg, cinnamon helps with diabetes. So if you take a spoonful of cinnamon and some water a day, that helps. Grapefruit is a wonderful weight. It helps with weight loss. Also cellulite for our sisters out there struggling with cellulite and weight loss. Eat a grapefruit a day. What else? Navy beans. If you know any Muslims in the Nation of Islam, we always eating navy beans and bean pies. Navy bean is very high in iodine, so it helps with radiation in the body. If you know anyone having chemo, tell them get navy beans and cook beans. Bean soup is very easy. You know, our water, they're constantly putting radiation in the water. Something's always in our water. So I boil our water here on the farm. I boiled it when we lived in Charlotte as well. But you boil your water at least 5 minutes, keep it uncovered, and whatever's in it that's toxic comes out, floats out the top, evaporates out of the top of the water. And cook your navy beans in that and eat it. I try to cook navy beans at least once every 2 weeks just to try to just to help with the radiation that I know is in our body. That's coming from your cell phone, right?
Yeah, that's true. Computers too.
Yeah, computers. And then, like Dr. Delbert Blair, who is a wonderful teacher who just passed away, one of our elders, he talked about how we, constantly have it in our ears, right?
That's right.
Constantly have it in the lap and in the hand, and the cell phone towers generating radiation. So we're surrounded by it. So navy beans is the number one go-to. If anyone would like to email me, I have a great PDF book on navy bean recipes. It's like 1,000 things you can do with a navy bean. It's crazy.
Could you give your email address?
Yes. My email is joy, Joyu, the letter U, 805 at gmail.com. Joyu805 at gmail. Email me if you want to ask a question, whatever. Well, just hit me up, and I'll definitely respond. Water, that's the number one thing. The number one thing that we should consume every day. They say drink 8 cups of water. We should actually be drinking half our weight of water every day. So if you weigh 100 pounds, you should be drinking 50 ounces of water every day. If you weigh 200, 100 ounces of water every day. We have to replenish what we use. Burn a lot of water as melanated people, and I'll get into that in a second. Why do Black people use so much water in our bodies? And we burn it like that. So it's very serious that we drink water and consume it all day long. Kool-Aid doesn't count. Fruit punch doesn't count. It has to be water. At least get it. I try to get mine in early in the day and at night a little bit. And I'll drink some juice in between or tea. But half your weight in water, you should be drinking every single day in order for your body to function properly. And then I wanted to get in why these things are important, why we're different, because the white people, they say 8 cups, or they say drink liquor and do all these things. And so what makes us different from them? Because they can do it, right? They are built differently from us. We're not alike biologically. We're just not. Black man, red man, brown man, yellow man, genetically we have the same DNA match. But the Caucasian or European, their DNA strands are different. You can look that up. They're doing a lot of reports now on it on the BBC and what's the Science Channel, where they're talking about how white people had a genetic mutation at some point 6,000 years ago, which matches the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And so they are genetically different. My first exhibit A, number 1, is their allergy to the sun, right? Yeah. We're in a solar system that needs the sun. Whether you're a flower, a butterfly, a black man or woman, we love the sun. It loves us. But Black people, I think, white people, I think one white person dies, I believe, every hour, 30 minutes to an hour from melanoma, from skin cancer caused by the sun. So you see them putting on all that SPF 15 at the beach and at the pool. What that does, if you look at it in a UV light, is turns their skin black. When they put sunscreen on, it literally turns their skin black under a UV light. And so they have an allergy to the universal life giver, which is the sun. So we are not made like them. We get sun and all we do is get darker, right? So these things are important because what they tell us does not apply to us at all. We have to do and live and eat the way that our body scientifically was made as original people. We've been here trillions of years on this planet and other ones. Trust and believe. We've been here a very long time, and eating the way that we do is something new to us. We used to live hundreds of years, like they say in the Bible, 1,000 years. Now we don't eat to live, we eat and rush to death. 65 is the max for a Black man right now. That's like his, that's crazy. Yeah. So we have to eat to live. I wanted to, what was it? I had to talk about melanin, right? And a lot of people haven't heard of melanin, don't know what melanin is. We like to call ourselves the melanated people of the planet. Black, brown, red, yellow. That means you have color. Melanin. Melanin is a chemical produced from the pituitary and the pineal gland in the brain. That is a chemical that coats every living cell within the body, every cell, every living organism in this universe. The plants, the animals, everything that has color is melanated. Only white people, their pineal gland, it's calcified, meaning it's covered over. It doesn't produce a color like ours does. So their pineal gland is literally calcified, is what they call it, meaning it produces a little bit of melanin, but not enough. Scientists call when the sperm meets an egg in a woman, they call that a melanin explosion. They won't tell us that, but that's what they refer to it as. Everything is coated with melanin. In the plant world, they call it chlorophyll, I believe, right? What makes plants green. With us, it's black. So every cell has that. Every living thing has it. The darker, the higher the concentration, or the higher the carbon, the darker your skin is. So the more melanin your body's producing from the brain, the darker you are. So they say the blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. Right. That is so, right? That as someone who's been growing blackberries, it's true. The blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. But scientists, they call it carbon. When you look in space, they call it dark matter now. You're looking at melanin. You're looking at us. And when you look up in the sky and it looks blue in the daytime, that's an illusion. It's really black, right? You're looking at us. So we are a phenomenal creation if only we could eat right. I found there's a book I read called, it's actually for the hereafter. It's written by a brother who is Dr. Ali Muhammad. And I just want to read a little bit so I can show the difference of black people and the European, because this is a book on science that he does. He went and actually studied the differences between our bodies. So he talks about, you know how white people, you see a lot of commercials, osteoporosis and stuff like that, weak bones. You see white people with the humps on their back. And I always thought, why don't only white people have these humps, these big old humps on their back, old white ladies. And so it's from weak bones. So he talks about calcium in the body and how black people, right, we're always lactose intolerant. I am. I don't know about you. Okay. But the original people, I'm going to read from it really quick. The original people should only consume natural plant-based sources of calcium and all mineral elements for that matter. Calcium is the milk of other animals. Calcium in the milk of other animals is not for original people. To eat animals is a form of cannibalism that weakens the body of the original people and causes fermentation and excessively and untimely decay. Original people are genetically allergic to the lactose in milk of other animals, thus the term lactose intolerant. This simply means your body cannot digest one atom of animal's milk. I believe Brother Dick Gregory talks about that. And he talks about how black people are automatically allergic to that milk from the cow, right? Yeah. So after a certain amount of time of us drinking cow milk, by the time we get 30, we have so much vitamin D in us that we should not have, that our body starts to react to it. So I know around 30, when I started eating ice cream, when I read this, I was like, wow, that's crazy. Because around 30, I started eating ice cream and, my stomach started, and so you start, it's gas and all that stuff. So I thought that makes so much sense. I still drink milk a little bit, but I hadn't got that far in my process. But Let me continue. So this simply means your body cannot digest one atom of an animal's milk. Original people are only designed to take milk from the black woman. When we do eat milk from an animal, it increases body fat or white adipose tissue and causes fermentation, which means rotting. That body fat is called white adipose tissue. It is different from the brown fat or brown adipose tissue a mother gives to her baby in breastfeeding. The difference is brown adipose tissue has mitochondria and high levels of iron to operate an energy cycle in the brown fat cells. White adipose tissue has no mitochondria and no iron, thus no proper energy production. White adipose tissue ferments in the little white spores called white corpuscles. Thus, the Caucasians have the thesis that the blood is made in their bones. I'm going to repeat that. Caucasians have the thesis that the blood is made in their bones, and they are only right for themselves. Their blood is made in their bones as a skeletal hemorrhage. Their predominant blood, which is weak white blood, and becomes what condenses to make their weak bone structure. The blood of the original man is made in the intestines from the food he eats, when he eats a natural food. So people of color, our blood comes from our intestines. I'm going to repeat that. Okay. Our blood comes from our intestines. And so when you think about what we consume, we're poisoning ourselves as soon as we walk in the kitchen, right? Yeah. Because as soon as we eat something, our blood, it generates from the intestine and it goes into the body. And it goes to the heart and the lungs and the kidneys and the brain. So we're poisoning ourselves immediately just by what we're eating. White people's blood is a hemorrhage from their bones. So that explains why they suffer from a lot of weak bone diseases. This is cited, he cites, see the works of Kachi Morishita on blood physiology. So I thought that was insanity, right?
Actually, a lot of things you're saying tonight is going to make me think some of the things your references. I'm like, I want to look that up myself because
I'm going to cite it. I'm going to cite it because I'm almost done. But it's very, I hate to say deep. I heard someone say when somebody says something deep, that means it's going over their head, right? But it's deep. So when I think something's deep, that means I have to read it over and over again. And so I've read this book, and I'll send this to you on a PDF as well. Okay. Email me. I love to send it out. It changed so much.
What we can do too is when we put the video up, we can have the PDF there so the people can download that as well.
Okay, awesome. This was sent to me by a young sister of mine. She's going to UNC Greensboro. Okay. She's studying to be a doctor. And she wants to come back. She wants to go to Cuba and study and come back and open up clinics in black neighborhoods and teach this type of information and actually heal people, not hand out medicine. She wants to teach the fundamentals of black bodies, which, you know, they signed that Hippocratic oath, and that the root word is hypocrite, right? Because they show not teaching us nothing or healing us. So, yeah, she sent me this book, and it blew my mind. It will blow your mind because it's all science. We can't argue. You can't argue with science and math. You know, 1 + 1 gonna equal 2 all day. Can't argue with that. And so I just wanted to read that because you know, our blood comes from our intestine. You know, we were taught the heart pumps. You know, I've always thought it's the heart. I never really knew where blood came from. So, soon as you pull up to that McDonald's, you're poisoning yourself, right? Immediately. But, back to melanin. I just have to read that part because I'm making a point of how different we are. But melanin is basically, it's found in the body where energy exchange occurs, which are also known as chakras. If you study Buddhism, the Black Buddha teaches on chakras, which are the energy exchanges in the body. the crown, the third eye, the throat, the heart, the solar plexus, which is right above the stomach, kind of the diaphragm, the sacronavel, which is the intestines, and then the root, which are our loins. And so those are melanin centers. Within each of these melanin centers, if you can imagine, it's like little offices. In those offices for Black people, say in the stomach, I believe in the stomach, Black people have 13 melanin centers. It's like 13 offices in there working, right? Talking to each other. Caucasians, I believe they have three or four. That's huge. Yeah. So melanin it's different from the other sensories in the body. It doesn't have to report to the brain. Like, you hit your finger and your sensor sends a message to the brain that says that hurts. Right. Melanin doesn't do that. Melanin fixes that problem without reporting to the brain. It works on its own. So if your chakras aren't functioning correctly, if your body isn't functioning correctly because of what you eat, it's literally detrimental. So that's why we're leading in all these things, all these diseases and illnesses. So it's found in these melanin centers. Melanin absorbs all electromagnetic waves. And I'm reading this from a YouTube video that I had my children watch, because I homeschool my children. And it's a 2-minute video, and it's awesome. And it explains melanin in layman's term, pretty much. And it has a cool little video, so I'll cite that. I'll give you that as well. Okay, yeah. But it's called photon energy, is the electromagnetic wave. So it's an energy, and it's energy that turns into a chemical energy and heat. So melanin absorbs all electromagnetic waves, which is called photon energy, is then turned into chemical energy and heat. This heat has antioxidant and anti-carcinogenic properties. So antioxidants, which we hear a lot, it's the organism that utilizes oxygen. And then carcinogens is a substance that is capable of causing cancer. So Black bodies produce an antioxidant and anti-carcinogenic properties. So it regulates these things that causes cancer. So if Black people are leading in cancer, your Blackness ain't right. And it isn't functioning correctly because the God put it in us to function right and to alleviate cancers naturally. So this heat is also a fuel for the body. The science that is within the body, or the exchanges that occurs, is done with water. The only way that our melanin is able to process this photon energy the way that it does is because of the water in our body. That's why it's so important for us to consume as much water, to drink a lot of water every day, because our body needs it in order to combat what's in it. Our melanin centers need it in order to say, this is wrong in her stomach, or this is wrong in her chest. And so it needs to fix it and create this heat. And so it's not able to do that without water. Melanin has the ability to continuously break up the H2O molecule into hydrogen and oxygen, and that fuels our cells. Our bodies are mostly water. Melanin captures photon energy from our natural environment and uses that energy to extract the hydrogen molecule from water. Photon energy, that's every energy. So when Black people walking around, we are gathering energy from everywhere, whether it's radio waves, the sun, the solar energy, any type of energy that you can imagine. We're taking it and processing it into our skin and into our cells and creating energy from that. If we only knew the power Black people have. See, the enemy knows this. That's the trick. The enemy knows this. So that's why they push all this foolishness on us all day. We just don't know. Hydrogen is the simplest and most abundant element in our universe. Hydrogen is not an energy source, but a carrier of energy. This is because it takes a great deal of energy to extract it from water. So the God knew when he made us, they're going to need a lot of hydrogen. It's going to need a lot, like how America has all these war carriers out in the ocean with bombs. The God made us hydrogen carriers, energy carriers everywhere. And it's carrying this energy that we need in order to break down water. So your ability to absorb all of this type of energy depends on the hue of your skin color. Black skin is able to capture this energy, absorb it, and use it without damaging its DNA. And that's pretty much the end of the video. But I had to read it like that because it's so simple, kind of to an extent. But go ahead.
Yeah, what I want to do is like some of the things you mentioned, like the PDF or the links. Yeah, we want to include those. We want to share with the people that watch the webinar.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Because I know it's a lot. That's why I say I'll give you all the links.
Okay.
But if someone has questions, please email me because it's a lot. We are a very old people, so we got a lot of old science.
Could you email it one more time for everybody?
Joy, Joy, the letter U, 805 at Gmail.
Okay, great.
And that's pretty much all I have. Water, watch what we consume. TV, hearing, family, try to weed them out. The Bible says it's a time of separation.
And leave the pork alone.
Yeah, leave the pork alone. Leave the pork alone. The other white meat, that's for the other man. That's for the white man. That's why they call it the other white meat. No chicken, beef, if you're going to eat meat. Fish is a beautiful thing for us. I eat fish still. I stop eating meat, but every once in a while I'll eat fish because it's a pure, purest form of meat. You just take them out the water. They stop breathing. No one's slaughtered, all sad. So, but
yeah, I eat more fish too. But
yeah,
we're gonna wrap it up there. But
okay,
I really want to thank you for doing this. And like I said, we're gonna put it on the website. And for the viewers, we're sorry it didn't work out with the Google Hangouts the way we had hoped, but we're still gonna get them the information. We're gonna put it on the website. We promote it with the new links and with the video. So again,
I will tweet it. I'm on Twitter at Joy Jokes. So once you give me the link, I'll tweet it out and share it. I was very nervous, but
no, you did great. You did great.
Thank you. Thank you.
To be honest with you, got me thinking about a lot of stuff that I hadn't heard before. So
yeah, it's deep. Oh, I have a thing here. Black seed. Can you see it?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Black seed. Get this for one of your herbs. You can get it at any halal market, kosher market, Indian market, Asian market, everywhere but Food Lion and Whole Foods or what have you. But Prophet Muhammad says this seed cures everything but death. And I sprinkle on everything. You can literally, my mother-in-law, she says she eats it like licorice because it doesn't really have a taste. But it's this bag here is $2. If you can see the price, $2.50. But I just wanted to throw that out there because I put it in everything, and it's said to cure everything but death. I can't resist that.
One last question that I had for you is that I know you talked about your family, you and your family. You've got your farm and everything. Is that your business? Is there any plug you want to do for your business or anything that
yeah, we're working on it. The farm is called the Garden of Adan, ADN, that is Arabic for Eden. And my husband's currently working on the website because we are getting ready with the school year. We do want to start into agritourism. Okay. And next year, the spring, because we do have apples and grapes, we love to have children and people and their families come out and pick food and come out and garden. We have okra growing now and corn and all these things. So we're working on it. I don't want to plug it yet.
Okay. Well, when you're ready, let me know.
First year we were, going crazy. So this is the second year now. We kind of got into a little bit of a flow,
Okay.
and now the Most High let us see everything that's growing. Because last year no fruits grew, so this year we were bugging out, going, "Where's all this fruit coming from?" So now we know that we can promote it and actually start to make a little bit of an income, but more so share it with. We want to share it with Black children who don't know where food comes from, right? Or children. I know I didn't see any farms like that unless I came down south, but
Well, when you're
we didn't see.
when you are ready to promote it, be sure to let me know, and we'll put it on the site as well.
Thank
So
you, thank you.
again, I just want to say thanks for doing this, and we're gonna get it out there. So,
All right, thank you, brother
thanks.
Jimmy.
Okay,
It's a
thank you.
pleasure. Thank you once again for letting me share something.
Okay, great.
All right, thank you.
Okay.